interesting because I personally think that his underperformance isn't his fault, but the fault of the offense, and in particular the quarterback throwing him the football, and that's the Chiefs' Dwayne Bowe. Keep him or cut him.
Oh, there's another guy. I mean, how would you ever replace all his production from last season? I mean, it's hard to find wide receivers who don't catch touchdown passes in the NFL these days. I think the Chiefs are going in a whole new direction. I mean, they know they need to revamp it. Dwayne Bowe doesn't fit into that system. He doesn't have any synergy with Alex Smith. See you later, Dwayne Bowe.
Yeah, he really hasn't done anything to stand out or make himself, presence. But like we talked about on the show Monday night, if you believe he's a legit X receiver, those guys are they're not exactly a dime a dozen. And like I said, that's a position you can't compensate for if you don't have anybody there. So you got to definitely measure that decision very carefully. But I would say at this point, based on what he's put on the field, he can be replaced.
I'd like to point out in his defense that when he's been throwing the football, he's been productive. And to me, my problem is Alex Smith. If there's anybody that the Chiefs should move on from, it's Alex Smith. So I don't blame Dwayne Bowe for what happened. But if he does become a free agent and they move on from him, somebody's going to get a good deal for him, because he's not going to be able to get top dollar because of this history, and let's say he gets a 1-year contract to prove it. I think he'll get that, and I think he'll prove it. Keith, how much time do we have left? Oh, here it is. Yeah. All right, folks, thanks for joining us tonight. For Keith Grieve and Steve Taylor of 87sportsfans.com, this is Jim Saranteas of thefantasygreek.com. We were joined by our guest, Patrick Beaulieu of the Big Ticket Show podcast. You can follow them on Twitter at Big Ticket Show. Give them a listen for your weekly injection of all things north of the border and sports. Wager, I believe is what you called it. You've been listening to thefantasygreek.com's NFL Football Power Hour. Catch us every Wednesday night from 10 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. Listen to Late Night Sports Radio every night at 10 p.m. Eastern for your daily injection of sports talk radio Monday through Friday. I'll be back on Late Night Sports Radio on Monday with Keith and Steve. To all our listeners, no matter what they say, you're the best. Good night. Good night. Good night.